What we do here is go back.
2004 was a great year for anime, releasing some series that we still talk about today. Bleach, October 5th, Monster, April 7th, and Samurai Champloo, May 20th. So now, 20 years later, I watched Samurai Champloo, and is it still as good as it was in the early 2000s? Well, yes. How does the story start? We meet Fu, who is a cafe worker, and some samurai come in, starting all kinds of and think they are right to do so because they are samurai. And then comes in Mugen. Fu looks at him and asks him if he can deal with these guys, she will give him double the food than he ordered. In another scene, we see Jin talking to the town's officials, and a few moments pass and then the action starts. We start to see how strong Jin and Mugen are, with their abilities as swordsmen on full display. We can also see their differences. Mugen's fighting style is very wild, while Jin is very intentional with his movements. After they both deal with the samurai, Jin ends up at the cafe and Mugen mistakes him for another one of the samurai, and they start to fight, which leads them into getting captured by the shogunate. Luckily, Fu comes in to save the day, throwing fireworks to distract the guards, allowing Jin and Mugen to escape. Now this is where the main theme of the story sets in. After helping them escape, Fu says if she flips this coin and it lands on heads, then they have to help her find the samurai who smells like sunflower. Which, when I first started, I was like, how the are they supposed to even find someone who smells like sunflower? Like, are they going to sniff every samurai they see on their journey and be like, oh, this is the one? Anyways, if it's tails, they continue fighting each other. The coin lands on heads, and we're starting off the next 25 episodes of traveling, survival, and most importantly, action sequences. All the fights in the series were so satisfying to watch, especially if one of our swordsmen were pushed to the point where they didn't know if they could beat the opponent that was in front of them, being pushed to their absolute limits. While on this journey, I soon realized that they don't really know anything about each other, and we don't really know anything about them, other than Jin and Mugen are swordsmen, Jin learning from a dojo, and Mugen being self-taught. The real mystery is Fu, only knowing her for a cafe worker. But as the story goes on, we get a little insights of each of their respective worlds. My personal favorite was seeing Mugen's world. As they go along on this adventure, they learn more about each other and creating this bond and respect for each other that's in the shadows. That only really shows itself in important moments. You get to see the dynamic of the group's feelings for one another as they change throughout the story. But the story isn't the only thing that's great about Samurai Champloo. If you've been on the internet, you've probably heard this song more than just once. The soundtrack and style of the show are amazing, with sounds from Nujabes considered to be one of the best in hip-hop production. Hip-hop was also a big influence of the show's creation all around, with their vinyl scratching scene transitions and also having characters with some element of hip-hop. Graffiti and beatboxing were the two main that I kind of noticed. Watching this 20 years later, it doesn't feel like you're watching something old, it more so feels like a unique type of series that you can't find anywhere else. It's fresh, exciting, and intriguing experience that will stick with you decades from now.